Hi. Now this is a question which is slightly lengthy question. So out of all these integers, we have to figure out how many integers are divisible by none of these two, 5 or 7. So if we have to figure out number of numbers which are not divisible by any of these, let's first figure out how many of them are divisible by 2, 5 or 7. So we'll be solving this question using with the help of Venn diagram. Okay. Since there are three factors that we need to consider, 2, 5 and 7. So there will be numbers which are divisible by 2, there will be numbers divisible by 5, and there will be numbers divisible by 7. There will be some numbers divisible by both 2 and 5, there will be some numbers divisible by both 5 and 7, and there will be numbers divisible by both 2 and 7. So let's first calculate how many numbers are divisible by 2. So you have numbers from 1 to 20, 120. So 120 by 2 is 60. So there will be 60 numbers in these are first 120 natural numbers, right? So out of first 120 natural numbers, every second number will be divisible by 2. So 120 by 2, 60 numbers are divisible by 2. Out of first 120 natural numbers, every fifth number will be divisible by 5. So the numbers divisible by 5 will be 120 by 5, which is 24. And similarly, the numbers which are divisible by 7 will be every seventh number. So 120 by 7. Now 120 by 7 is effectively 1, 7, 17. There are 17 numbers which are divisible by 7. Now first let's calculate how many of these numbers are divisible by all of these 2, 5 and 7. So numbers divisible by all 2, 5 and 7 will be divisible by their LCM as well. So LCM of 2, 5 and 7 is 70. So 120 divided by 70, the quotient is 1. So there is only one number which is divisible by all the three, right? Now next. Now let's calculate how many of these numbers are divisible by 2 and 5. Fine. So numbers divisible by 2 and 5, they may be divisible by 7, may not be divisible by 7. We are not bothered about that. But I'm only looking for 2 and 7. They should be divisible by both 2 and 5. Sorry, I'm looking for 2 and 5. The numbers which are divisible by both 2 and 5 will also be divisible by the LCM of 2 and 5, which is 10. So 120 by 10 is 12. So there are 12 numbers which are divisible by both 2 and 5. So if there are 12 numbers divisible by both 2 and 5 and one of them is divisible by 7 as well, so 11 of them will be divisible by only 2 and 5. Fine. Next, let's calculate how many of these numbers are divisible by 5 and 7. We are not bothered about 2. We are only looking at 5 and 7. So numbers which are divisible by 5 and 7 will also be divisible by the LCM of 5 and 7, which is 35. So 120 upon 35 is effectively 3. So there are three numbers which are divisible by 35. 35 into 1, 35 into 2 and 35 into 3. These are the three numbers divisible by 5 and 7. So 5 and 7, there are three numbers divisible by both 5 and 7. One of them is divisible by 2. So 2 of them will be divisible by only 5 and 7 and not 2. And similarly, if you check for 2 and 7, numbers which are divisible by 2 and 7 will also be divisible by 14. Hence the number of numbers divisible by 14 will be 120 by 14. Now 120 by 14 is effectively 60 by 7, which is 8. The quotient is 8. So there are 8 numbers which are divisible by both 2 and 7, out of which one is divisible by 5. So there will be 7 numbers which are divisible by only 2 and 7 and not 5. Fine. And now if there are 60 numbers here, out of 60 we have 7 plus 1 8, 8 plus 11 19 over here. So we have 41 numbers which are divisible by only 2 and not 5 and 7. Similarly here we have 11 plus 1 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14, 24 minus 14, this is 10. And here we have 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 17 minus 10 is 7. So all these are numbers which are divisible by at least one of 2, 5 or 7. So if you add all these numbers, this is 60, 60 plus 10 is 70, 70 plus 9 is 79. So these 79 numbers are divisible by at least one of 2, 5 or 7. So out of 120, if 79 are divisible by at least one of them, so 120 minus 79 is 41. 41 will be the number of numbers which are not divisible by any of these, right? If you have total 120 numbers, if the universal set is 120, there are 79 numbers inside all these circles, so there will be 41 numbers which are not inside these circles, and these are the 41 numbers which are divisible by none of 2, 5 and 7. So the answer here is option B. Thank you.